And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Code for Giants Cup number 7, your bi-weekly dose of Brazilian StarCraft. And we're here, we're back. Exclamation mark be in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. I apologize for the late start to the event, but it did take some time to allow the players to get ready to arrive, and we are here in our first round of the bracket. And this morning in the bottom right hand corner of the Oceanborn, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the red Terran representing Eximius Gaming. It is Kamikaze. And spawning in the top left hand corner, asking his opponent to be gentle, papi. It is the blue Zerg player representing Death Zone Gaming. It is El Nino, papi. Let's go. We are going to be settling in, and again, I hope everyone has been doing well. Hope everyone has been enjoying themselves over the past couple of days of pure StarCraft. And today is going to be a big one. We have three events today. We have, of course, this event's Code for Giants Cup leading into later on tonight, Kung Fu Cup leading into OSC King of the Hill. 3 events back to back to back. Aye. I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. It's gonna be a long day. No, he's nervous, Pap. He's nervous. For those that are curious, Nino, Kamikaze is a GM. Of course, he's one of the higher ranked players in the event. He's one of the favorites to make a deep run. Meanwhile, El Nino, he is a bit of a lower tier player here, but of course, still a part of the scene, still part of the community, still gonna be fighting his heart out, and we'll see if we can put a bit of a blemish on the record here of Kamikaze early on. As hello, Mr. Drone. What's going on? As this is going to be a 2x Reaper opener, and alas, the drone will end up walking into that Reaper. We have a full wall off as well. Yeah, alas, the drone will not be able to make it in here as Reapers are on the way. Bit of a more aggressive start here by Kamikaze and Nino. And Nino, he's in a bit of a rough position here. We have the drone parked outside. We can maybe go for the proxy hatch. What can we really do, though, because the Reapers are across the map and we are containing the Zerg. Are going to be containing here. Quickly just setting up the title. Beautiful, love to see it. But we do dip into the main base. Lings likewise are in position, and we do almost get the Reaper. Not too bad, but the Reaper will. Oh no! Oh my god. The Reaper will barely escape. Trading well so far, catching 4 Lings. We have more Lings on the way. Ling speed as well. No drones whatsoever here at the natural base, and Nino, he is in trouble. Does almost get the surround. Oh my god, almost gets the surround. But alas, the Reapers do manage to slip away. We have a 3rd CC on the way behind this. Again, very economic, very greedy follow-up out of Kamikaze going for that 3rd CC as he is going to be working on his transition. 1 Reaper goes down. A pickoff that should not have really happened here. So, nice pickoff here by Nino, and we're going for it all in. At this point, we're going for the all in. We have a Spine Crawler back at home just to be safe. Link speed is on the horizon. Once it kicks in, we're going to be flooding nothing but Lings across the map as Nino has not made a single drone in quite some time. It's gonna be all or nothing. Are gonna be building up. So now we have our Spine Crawler gonna be repositioning. Meanwhile, back at home, we're working towards our Stim follow-up. It's gonna be a bio follow-up here, even with a 2-on-1. So 3cc 2-on-1 follow-up from our Brazilian Terran. Stim is already on the way. I'm a little bit surprised we're going for an add-on stuff here as well, just some heli, just some map control, and Nino, we have the Lings, they do get across the map, but alas, we have a full wall off, we have Reapers on the other side of the wall as well. We are ready for this, we'll shut this down, clean this up, and yeah, the Lings, they won't get much damage done. Alas, across the map, Nino is droning, he is droning as we speak. But these workers are too little too late. No 3rd base either. Kamikaze has done an insane amount of damage early on. I mean, look, it wasn't just our Terran player doing damage, but it was also our Zerg player responding in a certain way which allowed that he was all in, basically. Like, now that Nino's droning, it's a little bit too little too late. He was very all in, very committed. These drones are so late here for our Zerg player, and as a result, we're playing catch-up. We are stuck playing catch-up. Kamikaze starting to go to 3rd CC finishing up. I didn't see that. What happened here, man? What happened here? Sorry, I was paying attention elsewhere, but it's fine. It's fine. Is this when I look in? We haven't lost anything. It's okay. We probably were attacking our own building for a while though, so it was fine. It was fine. But now behind this though, we have our lair on the way, Roach Warren. So it looks like 2-base Roach on the horizon here for Nino, and that would be that would be a way to bounce back into this, right? To bring it all the way back, to bring it home. Meanwhile, Kamikaze poking in, Spine Crawler's done. Lings, they move in at the same time, but Last of Wall-Off is still solid. Lings won't find much damage here. Kamikaze turning back around, looking to hunt out at those Lings, looking to chase them back. And I'm curious what we do with this lair. We do have 3 gases currently, so it looks like it's just going to be for Roach speed. Technically, we could try to tech up a little bit further, but we'll see. We shall see if we embrace any further tech. Like something crazy like a Spire or an Infestation Pit. Could go full Eric, true. Hope is there. Roaches are amassing. I feel like killing Ravager all-in is on the cards for Nino as well. I mean, I keep referring to these all-ins. Trying to macro out of this is going to be a tough ask for our Zerg player. It is going for the Hydra Den. Okay, we're teching up even further now that we have the lair. It is not going to be purely Roach. It is going to be Roach Hydra. Bold move here by Nino, and this means that Kamikaze has a lot of freedom. We have a lot of freedom to just take our 3rd base, to drone up, or to make as many workers as we can. We have our mules on the way. And really, we're just waiting for our eventual move out. It looks like we have had a bit of a... Yeah, our medevacs are now going to be on the way to go Viking first, working towards 2-2. And we should be pushing with 2-2, or at least with some kind of timing here. It looks like we're moving out first. I mean, you know, there's nothing really holding us back, so may as well. Kamikaze does move out. And back at home, Nino has some Roaches, but these are 0-0 Roaches. They're slow as well. They're not the most ideal units here to work with. And Kamikaze has a lot of value here, a lot of efficiency available with his army. There we go, he does stim in. It does stim forward. We catch out the Roaches. Roaches is going to be going down one after the other. The Lings, they cannot engage, not with these Hellbats. They're going to try and dive in, but they melt, Papi. Oh my god, the Lings there, they don't stand a chance. Not against this army. And the Kamikaze is going to be snowballing out of control. We have a handful of Roaches trickling in. We're going to be evacuating the 3rd base. But alas, there's again not much going to be left over, as the base is going to be broken. Tank arrives as well, and we can't just keep pushing. If we had some Ravagers, then maybe we could micro against this and have a chance. I mean, the Hellbats are being thrown away. True. Are going to be thrown away. And we do see Nino just mustering up a bit of a desperation army here with more Roaches, more Lings. And Kamikaze still just going to be containing his opponent, but alas, we can just commit from here. We pick off the Queen. Still rallying across the map. 2-2 is a bit of a ways off, but it's on the horizon. It's on the horizon here. Nino, do we have bailing speed? Oh, we do not have bailing speed, unfortunately. Going to be working with slow banes for the time being. And here comes the rally. Here come the reinforcements. Marines, Marauders, moving out across the map. Unfortunately, the tech is exposed as well, so with the death of the Roach Warren, there's going to be no more Roaches. And yeah, Kamikaze can push in from here. Bailings will trade as best they can. They do get on top of some of these Marines. But the spread is going to be good enough. We get a surround here on the Roach Ravager. And there's just no support. There's no support here for the army. Again, it was a brutal start to begin with. But if you remember, Nino did ask, you know, for his opponent to be gentle. Kamikaze was pretty gentle. True. As he does step forward, we'll break the base and will, with that, take the first game here. Again, a GG gets called, and Kamikaze will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Kamikaze does take a lead here in this series, but of course, it's a best of 3. We have opportunities to bounce back. We can bounce back, I want to believe. Meanwhile, the rest of the bracket is currently underway. Again, something that was occurring before and why we had to delay the start for a little bit was walkovers. Walkovers were taking part. We were missing some of our players, but it looks like for the most part they've mostly arrived. Do appreciate it. And we can go over the bracket. We can go over the brackets once we wrap up with our series. We'll take a moment. We'll take a moment. Oh, is that the same Nino in the chat? It is. Ah, El Nino, papi, El Nino. Let's go. Fala galera, papi. Fala galera. Fala galera. See Matrix. Hello, Ponyo. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good morning. I did wake up like half an hour ago. To wake up quickly, showered, and we're here. We're here. It's bright and early in the morning. Went live at around 8:30. Yeah. Let's go. We're settling into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Goldenora. We have our Brazilian Terran player. One of the favorites to make a deep run in the tournaments. Representing Eximius Gaming, it is Kamikaze. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Death Zone Academy. This is part of the Academy team. Oh my god, what's going on? It is Nino. Here we go. Shout out to Nino though, as he did show up in the chat earlier. Did show up. Beautiful, beautiful. But we did see a 2-Rax opener out of Kamikaze earlier. This time looks like a standard Rax expand. We're just calming things down a little bit and easing our way into game number 2. Meanwhile, this is an interesting opener out of Nino, going for the extractor trick into a pool first. It's going to be pull into gas into a delayed hatchery, so an aggressive build here by our Blue Zerg player. And we'll see what this leads into. This could be for a Link Bane bust, could be just for a Link Flood, it could be for roaches. We have options. Regardless, our Zerg player, we're about to be aggressive. Here we go, we're about to ramp up the aggression here. Expansion now being taken, but quite delayed. If you remember in the last game, Nino tried to go for a proxy across the map, but was denied it because of the 2X Reaper. So we'll see what kind of spiciness we have in store for us this time. Spawning pool is now done. And the drone is being sent across the map. Okay, Mappy, okay. You have my attention. Interesting. Drone's being sent out. There's a chance that this might just be a drone scout, which I hope it isn't. Drone scouts are very much so not really seen in current meta. We are staying in gas, so link speed is on the way. We're staying in gas. This could be for a Baliness follow-up, could be for roaches. There's potential for aggression here for Nino. As, yeah, the drone is caught out. Yeah, at this point, even a drone scout is a little bit too delayed, so Kamikaze will get a nice worker kill already. Behind this, getting into our factory follow-up. Not going to be a 2-1-1. And my eyes are on Nino here. Again, usually we don't mind this much gas without good reason, especially with the opener that Nino went for. With the early pool and early gas and delayed hatchery, like this all has to be for a purpose. I would hope. I would hope that. With purpose. Whether this is for a fast lair. See, even here, a second gas being taken. This is a lot of gas. There's a lot of gas already here for Nino, and we'll see. We'll see what it's going to be for. Third base now being taken. I'm leaning towards a lair. We would have already seen a Roach Warren or a Baliness by now if it was either one. So now we are going to be joining up. With a Saturator Natural. Reaper does move out. Ooh, as we do catch a tumor. Yeah, not a bad pick-off here from Kamikaze, getting a drone, getting a tumor as well. Link, with these links, gonna be able to shut down the Reaper. So they can punish it with that link speed. And can they get it? Up, up, up. Ooh, they can. Just barely. Reaper's gonna be shut down, and the longer this goes on, the more concerned I am. It looks like, okay, even though we had no more aggressive start, there we go. Roach Warren is now on the way. We do have an abundance of gas, and we could have afforded this a little bit earlier, but Nino may just be trying to settle down and be safe. It's very possible. Looking back on the opener, looking back on the build, especially after what happened in Game 1, it's possible that Nino was just trying to hard counter 2Rax Reaper especially because like Turok Reaper got so much damage done early on in game 1. So it's possible that Nino was just a little bit too a little bit terrified, a little bit scared of the build, and tried to open up a little bit more defensively or aggressively to counteract that. As a result, did put himself a little bit behind, and the opener itself has been a little bit less than ideal, but we're settling in. Meanwhile, back across the map, we do have Kamikaze embracing Mech. We go from Bio in game 1 to Mech in game 2. Blue Flame is on the way, and Nino, he's going to be in some trouble here. I mean, we are making Roaches, true. Roaches are amassing, which is going to be good against these Hellions. That's going to be a lot of Hellions. Yeah, we're embracing Battle Mech. We have Blue Flame and Hurricane engines on the way. Of course, Mass Hellion into eventually Mass Cyclone is on the horizon here. Oh boy, it's going to be a lot of mech-based units. Nino does not have his third base saturated. I would assume this is for a 2-base all-in, but I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm comfortable making those calls anymore. Yeah, now we're joining. Now we're joining up. So again, Nino once again playing very safe. Does make a wave of Roaches. And here comes Kamikaze. Here we go. Kamikaze moving out across the map with a mass amount of Hellions. Is going to run into a wall of Roaches, but honestly, the damage has already been done. The fact that Nino has barely any saturation here at the third base is concerning. We do defend, we do hold against the first wave of Hellions, but alas, Nino doesn't even commit. Also, I should say Kamikaze doesn't even commit. He pulls back. We have tanks on the horizon. Interesting that we did invest into Hurricane engines despite not making any Cyclones yet, as we're going here for more tech labs. Just going Hellion tank for the time being. Third base is being taken. Kamikaze does move out. Does move out, rotating around. Because of all these Hellions, we can see that Nino, he's making more Roaches. He's a little bit terrified of what's to come. And likewise, that is hurting him in a longer game, as he is yet to saturate on 3 bases. Meanwhile, Kamikaze taking full advantage of the Zerg player, just making more and more SCVs. Kamikaze has a Worker Lead plus Mules, which is terrifying. Has a massive economic advantage. And is just building up his tank counts. Like, I should say, he doesn't just have an economic advantage, he's just taking up. We're taking up, throwing down more factories, more production, and Kamikaze is left alone. Back at home, Nino is now droning up, and this is one of those kind of big tells. I say big tells. At times, one of the big disparities between like higher and lower leagues is knowing when and where to drone and when and where not to, right? Like when to commit to an army, commit to an all-in, when to focus on your economy. That is something that is hurting Nino more than anything right now, as it's not like Kamikaze's killed anything, but he's like miles ahead despite that. He killed 1 drone earlier. It feels like Nino, he's getting into his own head a little bit. And here we go, we're waddling in. The tanks, they have arrived. The Roaches, oh, they're gonna melt here against this tank line. We do come in from behind. Nice around. Picking up a tank, getting a second, getting a third tank as well. Very nice positioning here. And can we get the final tank? It looks like we barely can. Again, honestly, that flank was the game deciding, or the, I should say, the deciding factor here that could actually hold here for Nino. Oh my god, it cleans up most of the tanks, shuts down the Hellbats. Nino will hold. This was not an efficient trade, is what I will say. That was a 40 Roaches for 5 tanks. Oh my god, that was a lot of Roaches. 40 Roaches going down, but Nino holds. Nino does barely hold on. He holds his own. Back at home, Kamikaze setting up, getting another base, getting a 4th on location, and is sieging up. Again, Kamikaze was a little bit trigger happy. He did not have enough to actually support his army and defend his flank, defend the right hand side. So Kamikaze was caught out. From here, I'd love to see even a double expansion out of Nino. Now we're taking the 4th base. Still no 5th, but we are slowly building up. The hope here, I would say, for Nino is for Kamikaze to overextend. if the Terran player overextends once again, if we move in without enough support, then we're going to be in trouble. The problem is that this time it isn't Tank Hellion, it's Tank Cyclone. And Cyclones, they can trade better against Roaches. We saw that the Hellbats that were tickling the Roaches earlier, they were really just buffering for the tanks. Here are the Cyclones, they can buffer for tanks and also trade well. This army is more efficient for Kamikaze. He may be down in supply, but the soup does lie. It's straight up, especially in this kind of scenario, where the Terran player has a much more efficient army. Roaches, they dive in, but the tanks, they siege up. One massive tank volley is going to be going up. We do surround the tanks, and we're going to be able to shut down 3 of them at least. Yeah, more reinforcements on the way. We can chase down some of these Cyclones, while the rest have arrived. We can kite the hell out of these Roaches. And then in the aftermath of that fight, Kamikaze takes the supply lead. We're getting ready for that next wave. Upgrades about to kick in. We have 1-1 on the way. Do have those 1-1 upgrades. And Kamikaze's pulling back for the time being, but again, he's just taking another base, taking a 5th. Still has the superior economy, so Kamikaze can afford these trades, and Nino still stuck on Ling Roach. Did throw down a Hydrogen, did throw down Infestation Bit, no Hive yet. We do have plenty of lava to work with, thankfully, with those macro hatches, but we're still building up. Going Widowmine, that's a bit of an oddity. Going Cyclone Widowmine tank, interesting. There you go, Ling's gonna try and collapse on the army. Mine shots, ooh, forcing friendly fire. Let's go. We do force a friendly fire. We trade as best we can, but we still clean up the Roaches. And Kamikaze has broken through. He's broken through the defensive line, getting on top of the hatchery. Roaches are trickling in. And Kamikaze, it looks like we are going to be able to break through this. Alas, there's just not enough supply, not enough Roaches to hold on. And once again, trying to force some friendly fire. I appreciate the mine drags. We've seen it twice already. I do appreciate it. But alas, still not enough. Hatchery is going to go down. Oh, the mine shots. Oh my god. Mine shots popping off. Drones falling. Kamikaze is waddling through. Waddling in, but slowly making his way in, so he's slowly sieging his tanks. And Nino just up against the wall, just lost his 3rd base. Now he's up at his 4th. And Kamikaze just rallying across the map, slowly sieging forward. Once again, we try to get on top of the tanks, but alas, it's not going to be enough. We do take down 2 tanks, but that was our army. That was all of our Roaches. And we are finally getting into the mineral line as well. And with that, Kamikaze snowballing out of control. We have 9 more Roaches in production, but we have as many, if not more, Cyclones. We have 16 Cyclones out, but the base is going to go down. Nino will evacuate his workers. We'll save most of them. Still bleeding out 12 drones. And from here, we can just push in towards the natural. You know, trying to build up an army to work with. We got a fusion core on the way. Oh my god. Getting ready for BCs. Or maybe just liberated range. We're also making 3 libs at a time. Oh, we found the drones! No! The workers have been found. We cleaned them up. Now we can focus on our push, as Nino is contained to our 2 bases. And again, had his own moments in this game, had some nice fights, some nice engagements is maybe what I will say. But the problem, the underlying kind of problem here for Nino was the macro behind it, unfortunately. And with that, the final wave of Roaches are being cleaned up. We can finally push in towards the natural. Yeah, Roach Warden's under fire, which means no more Roaches can be produced. Liberation has arrived. We have freedom. GG, well played against Cold, and Kamikaze will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Kamikaze will take the series. Again, he was the favored player coming into this. For those that are curious, Kamikaze is GM and Nino is Diamond. But a shout out to Nino because, again, even though he is Diamond, for a more amateur player to compete and play in these tournaments, we always do champion it. We always do love it. We always do appreciate it. I did the same thing back in the day, back in like 2016. I would play in like Olima leagues week after week. I'd get trounced on by Innovation, by Keen, by Ryung. But it'd be a lot of good fun competing amongst some of the best players out there. So much love here to Nino for participating, but alas is going to be knocked out. And now we can have a look at the brackets. Let's catch up. Let's catch up on what has been going on. Exclamation mark B in the chat. You guys want to have a look at the back yourselves.